That's been playing in my head a couple nights. I've fallen asleep to that. Her words. In this video, I'm going to share how Emma Raducanu, knowingly or unknowingly, used Neville Goddard's extremely powerful mindset technique to manifest winning the US Open. Hello my darlings, welcome back to another video. If you're brand new here, my name's Lucy, and on this channel I share all kinds of things about personal development, spirituality, and how to become the best version of you. For those of you who don't know who Emma Raducanu is just yet, because she has recently sprung to fame. In fact, her story is so beautiful. I love her story. I have a lot of respect for this young woman. So Emma Raducanu, she's British. She was actually Canadian born, but she's British. She's British! What's so inspiring and heartwarming about her story is that she wasn't one of the people who was predicted to win. She was actually awarded a wild card to play at Wimbledon, meaning that she wasn't sort of this well-known, established tennis player, and she was ranked number 338 in the world at the time, but was sort of given this wild card to play in the championships. And then more recently at the US Open, she just played phenomenally right through, made it to the finals, and then it was the most incredible game of tennis I've ever watched, seeing her playing against Leila Rodriguez, who is another super talented young tennis player. So her story is beautiful and heartwarming, and I have so much respect obviously for her talent, for the fact that she's dedicated her life towards the sport. But what's also a huge component to winning is mindset. And I'm going to talk more about that side of things on this video, because that's kind of what this whole YouTube channel is about, right? Every professional athlete has at least one mindset coach, if not a whole team of them, because how they feel about themselves, how they feel about the game, how they feel about the competition, how they feel about the opponent, how they feel under pressure, all of these things, you know, the mindset can really be the difference between whether you win or lose when it comes down to business. And especially with such a one-on-one competitive sport like tennis, I can only imagine how much you really need to rely on your mindset to keep you going, especially if maybe you've lost a couple of rounds. I'm not a tennis pro, so I don't even know if that's the right terminology. But you know, especially if the other person has gained a few points recently, you know, how you keep yourself going and stay mentally powerful so that you can keep going to actually win the game, I think is just fascinates me. After watching the game, seeing her smash it and just being so happy for the girl, one of my team sent me a screenshot to an article about her win. And the reason why my team member sent me this screenshot, or sent all of us in the team chat this screenshot, is because this article alludes to the fact that Emma Raducanu was using the same technique that I've been talking about recently on this channel, Neville Goddard's sleep technique and Neville Goddard's concept of the law of assumption. Neville Goddard was around in the first half of the 20th century, and he was one of the, from my experience, one of the earliest people to be talking about how our thoughts, our imagination can create our reality. I mean, I say one of the earliest people, he references things that were said in the Bible about how what we believe we can manifest. Okay, so it's not new information, and he was definitely not the first to say it, but in my eyes he was one of the pioneers to this sort of modern movement that we're experiencing now about things like the law of attraction, the law of assumption, which combined can help you to manifest more of what you want into your life. So while the law of attraction talks about how whatever you're on the same vibrational frequency as, if you're putting good thoughts out there, you get good back. Maybe if you're putting negative things out there, you get more negative back in your life. If you combine that with the law of assumption, the law of assumption states that whatever you assume to happen, whatever you believe to be whatever you really believe, not what you hope for, not what you wish for, not what you want, but what you just assume is going to happen for you. That's a very powerful mindset to have, and it can help you to manifest more of those things into your life. The other weekend, we were driving along. The weather was just torrential rain. There was traffic. It was taking us about an hour just to get into this service station because we wanted a break from the drive. And I decided, right, let's stop talking about how rubbish this is. And I just said, the rain's gonna stop. We're gonna find a space exactly in front of us. We're gonna be able to park into the perfect parking space. The rain will have stopped by the time we need to get out of the car to go into the building. And the whole rest of the journey is gonna be easy and effortless. And I kid you not, within 20 seconds, the rain stopped. Someone pulled out in front of us, a space appeared. We were able to park there. We got out, the sun was shining, and the rest of the journey was easy breezy. Now, disclaimer, this isn't like 1,000,000% of the time effective. I also have the belief that there are also other factors at play. There are many different things that I'm not enough of an expert on just yet to talk about, but when I did go to India and I learned from a Himalayan yogi, he mentioned that there are other energies and other things involved in what we experience in our life. And like I said, I'm not going to go into any more depth about that just yet because I don't feel like enough of an expert on that subject yet. But what we can conclude is that if we want to improve the quality of our life and we want to increase our chances of the things that we want happening for us, we can leverage and utilize our energy and our mind to increase the chances of that manifesting. So one of Neville Goddard's techniques is to fall asleep as the person that you want to become. Meaning that when you're lying in bed waiting to drop into sleep, instead of you just kind of thinking about your day and what maybe didn't go so right and what went wrong and thinking about your life and what you want to change and what you're not happy with, instead of doing that, transport yourself to where you actually want to be. Imagine that you're lying there as the version of you that you want to become, having achieved the goal or picturing a scene in your head of something that you want to happen. And he has shared many success stories of how he's done it or people he knew did it. And after 30 days of doing that or 3 months of doing that, these things happened to the letter exactly how they imagined it when they were going to sleep. Our minds are incredibly powerful things. Our subconscious mind is the most powerful part of our brain. In fact, 95% of our brain is the subconscious. And as we fall from conscious to unconscious in the process of falling asleep, a window opens up. The subconscious mind is easier to access, to tap into. It's more impressionable at that time. And so that's why we can leverage that window of opportunity to feed those thoughts into the subconscious mind. Then there's a whole other realm of how that turns into you getting what you want that I don't quite understand, but I just know that it works for a lot of people. So now back to Emma Raducanu. Let me just bring up the article here and show you what she was quoted to have said. So it says here in a caption of her photo, Emma Raducanu had pictured winning a Grand Slam trophy in her dreams. Now there's a difference between saying, oh, I've dreamt of this moment, to literally picturing that moment in your dreams, right? And then quote unquote, something that she is claimed to have said is, that's been playing in my head a couple nights. I've fallen asleep to that. In another article where I can see they've extracted a bit more of what she said, Raducanu said, I've always dreamed of winning a Grand Slam. You say, I want to win a Grand Slam, but to have the belief I did and actually executing winning a Grand Slam, I can't believe it. I first started when I was a little girl, but I think the biggest thing that you have visions of, for me, it was just winning. The winning moment and going to celebrate with your team in the box. That's been playing in my head a couple nights. I've fallen asleep to that. Her words. Her words. Just to re-emphasize again, I'm not saying that she just dreamt her way to winning the Grand Slam, to winning the US Open, to going from practically unknown young rising tennis star to smashing all the games and becoming #1 in this tournament. And it's only the second tournament she's ever been she's ever participated in. You know, I'm not saying that was all just down to mindset and dreaming about it, but what I am saying is that it's interesting to study the success of successful people. Success leaves clues. It's always useful to study people who, you know, maybe it was there's all the training, there's all the skills, there's all the everything, and then it's that 1% that makes you win. How could you apply this to your life? Well, something that my team and I are all doing is creating a couple of scenes in our mind that represent you having achieved or you having attracted or manifested what it is that you want. So in Emma's case, she was picturing herself with her team up in the box celebrating that winning moment as she described it. So what's your winning moment? What will it look like? What scene could you create in your mind? And then instead of just coming up with it now, what if you pictured it as you fell asleep in vivid detail, like you lived it, you experienced it with your mind first, and most importantly, you experienced it with your mind just as you drop into the subconscious and drop into sleep. She's done it. Neville Goddard was talking about it for years. Now, who knows whether Emma Raducanu's mindset coach taught her that it was a Neville Goddard technique or not. That information, I do not know, but I just think it's so fascinating that I learned this information quite recently, and then I watched this girl who I'd never heard of win the US Open, and then there's an article saying that that's exactly what she did in the nights running up to the final. So take it for what it's worth, take it for what you will. Use it to change your life, use it to manifest more of things that you want into your life. And if you do have any success stories, I always love to hear them. There's a link below in the description if you want to share your success stories with us. I will feature them in future videos, and I am going to be publishing a book in the years to come with all of our manifestation success stories, so we can give more proof and evidence that this stuff works and help more people to figure out how to do it for themselves too. If you got anything from this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up before you go, and if you haven't done so already, feel free to hit my subscribe button and ring my bell so that you never miss another Juicy Lucy video. Love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye.